Furness Podcast with Frank Furness.
Hey, this is Frank, and what a year we've had with COVID. But you know, the interesting thing is, all of my financial services clients that I speak to and that I work with around the world are all telling me they're having an amazing time. They're able to get through to more clients, speak to more clients, and writing more business than they've ever written before. So every cloud has a silver lining. Listen, by now, I hope you've listened to all of the previous episodes on NLP with my great friend Ian Halsell. And what I'm going to be doing now for the next 6 months is going through my program. In fact, it was a pre-recorded program that I'm going to share with you. It used to be part of a package that I sold for $247, an audio package. It's yours for free, so please tune in every week and listen to a new episode. Right, now let's take a look at all of the methods there are, or as many as we can, of finding new clients, prospecting. Where do we find the new people that we're actually going to be speaking to? Well, the first thing is cold calling. I don't know if anyone else has to cold call, but I've had to cold call for years and years. And if I've got some blank spaces in the diary, believe me, I will get onto the phone and cold call. Now, cold calling takes a lot of guts because you've got to set yourself up mentally. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. You've got to have a positive mental attitude, and you've got to say to yourself, I'm going to sit today and I'm going to cold call. If you're going to cold call telephoning, set yourself a target. Say to yourself, look, I'm going to sit down today, and all I want is for 3 people to say, yes, come and have a chat to me. You've also got to have a telephone script that works. You've got to know what some of the common objections are and how to answer all of those. But I think most importantly, you've got to put yourself in the right frame of mind, and you've got to be in the right business environment. So for me, I would clear my desk, because if I'm sitting cold calling, I'd pick up the phone. The first one would be, hi, this is Frank Furness. Can I come and see you today? No. The second one, I'm less enthusiastic. Hi, this is Frank Furness. Can I come and see you today? No. And then rejection starts to set in. Hi, this is Frank Furness. Can I come and see you? No. Now, all of a sudden, that pile of papers that have been sitting on my desk becomes so important, and I start shuffling papers, playing around with administration, doing the things that I shouldn't really be doing. Why? Because of the rejection factor. People are saying no on the phone when I'm cold calling. So I've had to turn all of that around. The first thing, get myself into the right frame of mind. Psych myself up. You've got to get the environment right as well. Any papers on your desk, get rid of them. Any distractions, get rid of them. Then set yourself a time period. Say, look, I'm going to sit phoning for 2 hours. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to cold call for 2 hours. All you want to have is the list of people that you're going to be phoning. And if it's cold calling, you don't know them from Adam. It's just names and numbers. You've got to have your telephone, and you've got to have your diary. So if somebody says, yes, come and see me, you've got your diary in front of you, and you can slot them in. Sometimes with cold calling, I would stand up. Why? Because it makes me feel more confident. I speak from the stomach, and then I feel good when I'm phoning. So what you've got to do is get yourself into the right frame of mind, because believe me, there is rejection with cold calling. But as I say, if you've got some gaps in your diary, it's the only way that you're going to fill them up. If you're clever, though, there are other ways of filling up the diary, and there are all kinds of other things that you should be doing. Cold calling should almost be the last resort. But as I say, if you've got blank spaces, that's the price you pay. That's your penalty for not doing all of the other things that you should be doing. One of the other things is referrals, and I think referrals is almost the most important thing in any business. And we're going to speak about that a bit more shortly. Now, another way of finding good qualified prospects is a thing called swap meets. Now, what a swap meet is once a month you would meet with 2 or 3 other people. That would give you 4 or 5 qualified prospects. The next thing is clubs and social activities. Now, for me, this has almost been one of the most important factors of my success. In 1993, I left South Africa and moved to the United Kingdom. I came over in a sales capacity, and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know where to start, but the only thing that I knew I could do
was to get involved in clubs and social activities. So let's have a look at some of the things that I did. In my market at the time, I wanted to meet and mix with wealthy people. So how do I do that? Where do these people meet and mix? The first thing is, wealthy people tend to play golf. So I joined a golf club, and that's where I started to meet the right type of people that I wanted to speak to. Secondly, I joined a cricket club. Now, I joined a very snobbish cricket club. I won't say the name of the club, but there were a few England players playing at the club, and I came in with my strange South African accent, and being pretty much snobs there, they didn't speak to me for some time. I didn't care, though. One of the things I did do was, they said to us, look, we need some volunteers. Friday nights, we've got the children down, and we need somebody to coach these children. I said, I'll do it. I mean, how much do you have to know about coaching to coach a 5-year-old kid? You throw a ball, hit it, well done. That's about as much as you need to know. Now, what we'd do is on a Friday night, we'd have 86 children coming to play cricket. And I'd sit there and I'd coach them. Now, what happens at the end of the evening, we've got 86 sets of wealthy parents coming to fetch their children. I'm the coach. What do you think they're going to do? They all come up to me. Well, how's my little Johnny playing? Oh, fantastic. Unbelievable. I reckon he's going to be playing for England soon. Oh, that's fantastic. The next set of parents comes along. How's Joe doing? Unbelievable. He's bowling. I tell you what, if he's not playing for the county in 3 or 4 years' time, I'll be very surprised. These people love their egos being stroked. Now, as the weeks started to wear on, I started to get more and more friendly. I was invited out to suppers. I got to socialize with these people. And soon I had a whole circle of not only friends, but prospects that I could speak to. Something else that I did is I joined a very upmarket health club. Now, once again, it was full of snobs. I would be known as the mad South African because I'd walk down the passages, people would walk past me and I'd go, morning, how you doing? And they would just ignore me. They would look the other way. It was almost if I had leprosy or some disease, they didn't want to be associated with me. The next morning I'd be there again walking down the passage, morning! And they would ignore me. Now this would go on for a week or two. And eventually they had to start doing something. Now, after a couple of weeks, they'd start grunting. Morning, how you doing? After another 2 weeks, they started saying hello. And after a couple of months, we got to speaking. I tell you what, I know just about everybody at that club because I made it my business to do that. And I also tell everybody what I do. I'll never push myself down anyone's throat, but people have got to know what I'm doing. I want to tell you my favorite place for prospecting, though, is in the sauna because they can't get away. Just don't ask where I keep the business cards. But this is true. We'd get in there and there'd be 4 or 5 other chaps in the sauna and we'd be speaking about football, tennis, anything. And I would turn around and I'd say to the one person, what do you do? And he'd say, well, I'm a solicitor. I'm a lawyer. I'd turn around to someone else, say, what do you do? Well, I own a big company. I own a big investment company. And they'd all turn to me and say, what do you do? I'd say, I'm in sales, and I'd tell them what I do. Now, one of 2 things happened to me at this stage. Either I'd find myself sitting alone in the sauna, whoa, where's everyone gone? Or they changed the subject very quickly. Now, I don't mind. I don't mind that at all because I know it's going to happen, and I've been expecting it to happen. What will happen, though, is 2 or 3 weeks later, I'd be training in the gym, and one of those people would walk up to me, tap me on the shoulder and say, listen, you said that you were in sales. I need your product or service. Can you help me? Well, of course I could. Now, one of the other things I did is I've always been involved in public speaking. I've been involved with Toastmasters International for about 13 or 14 years, and this is a wonderful organization. It is actually the biggest self-help non-profit organization in the world. And what it does, it helps people to improve their presentation and their speaking skills. Now, I was involved in South Africa. I ran 2 of the biggest clubs. When I came over to London, I visited one of the clubs, and I said to them, can I start up a club in the area that I'm working in? They said, that would be fantastic. We've been trying to open a club there for ages. Nobody wants to open a club. I said, great, I'm going to do it. What it meant, though, was putting in some long hours and a lot of effort to get the club going. But very soon, there was not one but 2 clubs, and each of the clubs had about 20 members that belonged to it. Now, who do you think joins Toastmasters International? What type of people would join these clubs? Well, I can tell you, it's directors, it's solicitors, chairmen of companies. These are people that have to be presenting all of the time. They want to be improving their presentation skills, and that's why they come along to Toastmasters. Guess what? I'm the president of the local chapter. I've got them involved, and I really get to know these people. So what have I got there again? 40 people that are the type of prospects that I want to be speaking to. So ask yourself right now, what are some of the clubs, what are some of the social activities that you can get involved in? The places where you can meet the people that you want to. Now, speaking all over the world, I find the most successful salespeople are master prospectors, but they also get involved socially. In Kuala Lumpur, one of the chaps that I knew was a fairly good cricketer in England. He went over to Kuala Lumpur, and he was so good he actually got into the national side. Well, I tell you, he didn't have to look for new business. He had such a high profile, and just by getting involved socially and on the sports side, he got tons and tons of business coming his way. Someone else I knew in Hong Kong got involved in all of the arts and the creative things. Every time there was a music festival, a symphony orchestra, this chap would be there. Guess who else would be going there? All of the people that he wanted to meet. Very soon, he became president of these organizations, and once again, people were attracted to him. So, as I say, think about the business that you're in, and what are the social activities you can get involved in. I mean, when you think about it, there's Lions, there's Round Table, there's all kinds of things that you can get involved in. Well, the next thing we've got to look at is personal observation. You know, as I've said earlier on in the series, you've always got to have this antenna on. Always be looking for the new business. Always observing. Now, another area of prospecting is the endless chain. I've said you've got to have fun in this business. And I've always had fun. Now, the way that the endless chain would work for me is I would go out and I would see a prospective client. I would either sell that client or I would sell him and get 8 referrals. Now, the big secret here is the chain links are the referrals. So whether I sold him or not, I got 7 or 8 referrals, even 2 or 3 referrals. The big secret here is I had to phone those referrals within 2 days and set up appointments with those. With these referrals, I then had to get new links in this endless chain. So once again, whether I sold them or not, I had to get 4 or 5 referrals. What this really meant was it was a little mind game, a little bit of fun in that everybody that I saw, I had to get referrals from. The next area of prospecting is old clients. How well do you look after your old clients? You know, it's amazing. I meet some people that have sold someone 2-3 years ago and they've never gone back again. Your old clients know you, they trust you, they like your product. Why not go back to them all the time? Turn them into centers of influence. Turn them into referrers. Now, the next area of prospecting is nests. Nests of people. What are these nests? You know, when I first went into the business, remember I came into the business selling financial services. I would see and sell to anyone that would see me. But after a while, I started specializing in 2 areas of people. The one was dentists, and the other was computer consultants. Now, I knew everything about these professions. How they worked, how they got paid, how their tax systems worked, who they'd like to mix with, what kind of social hobbies, what kind of things they had in common. So if I went to go and see a computer consultant, I mean, these people were unbelievably technical. They wanted charts, graphs, reports, research. That's not my style. It frustrated me. But guess what? These people were worth a lot of money to me. So I put in the reports, I did the research, I did the graphs, and I soon became known as a specialist in their industry. The same thing happened with dentists. I would go out and see dentists, and in my opening spiel, I would say to them, I specialize in working with dentists. And then I would say to them, what kind of chair do you have? I know everything about dentist chairs. Now for the first 15 minutes, he thinks he's speaking to another dentist. We develop fantastic rapport, and once again when I leave, I say, remember, Mike, I specialize in dealing with dentists. Now I used to get phone calls all the time from all over the country, people saying to me, I believe you specialize in dealing with dentists. Absolutely.
Hey, yes, it's me back again, Frank. I'm your sponsor, and I want to tell you about a series I've put together. It's actually been 2 years in the making. I have created the biggest online course for financial advisors. If you go and take a look at www.salesstrategiesforadvisors.com, salesstrategiesforadvisors.com, please go and take a look at our sales page there. You'll see the course has 281 videos, 106 audios, 12 ebooks, and 7 sets of scripts. And I promise you, you will make 10 times your investment at least in this course. There are so many ideas, every kind of strategy you can think of, new things added all the time. And for actually listening to the podcast, you can actually get 50% off the course. Please don't tell anyone about it. But if you go in to the checkout where it says coupon code, all you do is type in 50OFF, 50 off, and you will immediately get a 50% off the course on the one-off payment. Or, of course, you can opt to pay $29 a month. So, hey, this is Frank. I look forward to seeing you the other side and enjoying my online course.